So now we have finally assigned the textures of the terrain and the mountain. We need to go into our outliner and extract certain things. So for this particular assignment, we're going to use 3 different textures, okay? And I'm going to start to group things and combine objects. So first thing I want to do is highlight my entire rocket ship and press Control 1. That's going to allow me to isolate everything. My launch pad is going to be maybe the same color as this particular material or these objects, or maybe it might be a slight variation. These 2 objects, that and this, will have different colors. So I'm going to take these 2 objects here, okay, on my launch pad, or my structure, and I'm going to combine these. So I'll go to Mesh, Combine. Okay, so I'm going to combine those 2 objects, and I'll call it Structure 1. This object and that object, I'm going to make them the same exact color values. So now let's go to Mesh, Combine, and I'll call this Structure _2. So I have Structure 1. Okay, so these 2 objects are combined. Okay, and now the supports, these are all going to be the same color value. So I'm going to highlight all of these supports. I'll make a highlighted selection. Okay. And then these, all of this is going to be the same exact color. Now I'll go to Mesh, Combine, and I'm going to rename this as Structure _3. This metal kind of like grate, and this will have the same metal material. So I'll go to Mesh, Combine, and I'll call this, what should I call it? I'll just call it Floor _holes. Floor holes, alright? And then with the handrails, I'm going to select both of the handrails, go to Mesh, Combine, and rename these to handrails. Alright. This structure and that structure are going to be the same colors. So I'll go to Mesh, Combine. Alright, so what I'm trying to do are find objects that are going to be the same exact color values and combining them. Okay? If we were to animate this, then I would recommend grouping different items, but since it's just going to be a still image, it's quite alright. And after you combine it, you can always separate it. These 2 little balls on there and the door are going to be the same color as this object and that object. Okay, so I have a door, I have the 2 little circular parts that hold that piston and the rocket. I'm going to go to Mesh, Combine. And then I think I'll make this object the same color as these hinges. And that too. So what I'm doing is I'm just combining objects. Actually, I'll take these two and I'll select this guy here. Go to Mesh, Combine. I'm going to select all of these little things around my ship that hold the engine into place, and go to Mesh, Combine, and I'll call that engine underscore support. I'm going to rename my engine. I'll go to Modify Center Pivot, and I'll call this engine. That's fine. So I'm going to select my entire ventilation minus the bolts and go to Mesh, Combine. I'm going to select all of the bolts and combine. So that's pretty much what we're doing until we have everything on their own layers combined. And after that, we're going to assign shaders to it, and that's what we'll go over in the next tutorial.